I spent my first 8 professional years as a cable guy, climbing telephone poles underneath houses. And then I transitioned into selling cable TV door to door. And I would sell phone, internet, and cable service. And that was my job. And one day I ran into this lady named Paula, and Paula needed cable set up in her new home. And when I went to meet Paula, I said, Paula, congrats on your new house. Or I said, congrats on your new condo. And she said, it's not a condo, Ben, it's a duplex. Well, I was raised super poor. Like, owning real estate was something different to me. And she said, no, it's a duplex. And I said, Paula, what's the difference? And she said, I own both sides. I bought 2 of them. And I was young at that time. And I looked at her and I said, Paula, why didn't you just buy a house? And she said, because my tenants next door cover 100% of my mortgage. And you know how your dog does when he's confused? He kind of cocks his head a little bit sideways, and just kind of moves his lips weird. I kind of looked at her. I'm like, Paula, do you live for free? She says, yeah, they 100% cover my mortgage. I live for free. And I thought to myself, this is the greatest idea that anybody's ever told me. Like, 1, you could own real estate, and 2, you could have somebody pay for it for you. So I said, what do you need to do? She said, you need to get a real estate agent. So I went through the magazines you read at the teriyaki restaurants, and I found a real estate agent in there. I refer to him now as crappy real estate agent number 1. So I call crappy real estate agent number 1 and I say, hey, I want to buy a duplex. He says, great, I'd love to help you. Are you pre-approved? And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you need a loan. So he connects me with this loan officer, and the loan officer says, you're pre-approved for $230,000 and you need $11,500 as a down payment. Okay, so I save up my $11,500, call crappy real estate agent back up and said, let's go look at some duplexes. So he starts showing me some properties, but they were like condos and houses. And I said, hey, crappy real estate agent, why aren't you showing me duplexes? He says, there aren't any in your price range. And he did not understand that I was signing up for the free deal. So I started driving around town, Jeremiah, and I would write down the addresses of all the duplexes that I liked the look of. The ones that had a double car garage, and the ones that were the right color in the right neighborhood. And I started looking them up on the Whatcom County assessor page, and something stood out to me. A handful of them had tax forwarding addresses out of state. You know what that means, Jeremiah? It means that most likely they're an out of area owner. And I thought, these people probably don't even care. So I called one of them up and I said, hey, I want to buy your duplex. I want to live in it and I want to buy it. And he says, okay, we were just talking about selling it. So I didn't know what to do. And I said, okay. So I hung up the phone and I called my crappy real estate agent. I said, hey, crappy real estate agent number 1, I want to buy this duplex and I want to make an offer on it. And he says, what do you want to offer? And I said, 227, because I need room to negotiate because I was only approved at 230. And he said, it's too low. They'll never accept it. So I hung up the phone discouraged. And I thought to myself, maybe somebody else would write the offer. Like, I didn't know I could write the offer on my own. I thought I needed, a real estate agent. So the only other real estate agent I knew was married to another cable guy. So I called Catherine. I said, Catherine, I found a duplex. The guy's willing to sell. I'm approved for 230. I want to offer 227. She said, okay. She lived 3 counties away. She wrote up the offer. The guy accepted it. No counter. Just accepted it for 227, I think 500. So I move in. And I get my first mortgage statement and it says $1,210. That was my payment. And I get my first rent payment from my neighbors next door and it was $1,200. So I didn't quite accomplish my goal, but I was within $10.